And okay, so today's community meeting is pretty easy, and we've got just two more several fixes and features recently, and it might be related to your use cases. So let's go over it. Okay, so can you see my screen?
Yeah, we can see your screen.
Yeah, okay. So basically, we recently fixed some previous features, and they are released in the latest beta version. And I think in 1 or 2 weeks, we will like to make some release for the version 1.9. And so version 1.9 mainly have some minor have some minor features, and also we dropped a lot of legacy features, especially for KubeVela before version 1.0, which is about over 2 years ago. So there are lots of legacy code and some compatibility code to keep old users also available for latest features, and we have just to drop those things in version 1.9. Drop most of them, not all of them. So because we found that some of the users are going into the KubeVela code for more details, and they might be trapped by the old legacy code because they are not used nowadays. So they might be confused of why this code exists there. So we dropped those codes and try to make the code structure easier to understand. So this is one of the main achievement we have got in the recent version. But that's not something that's directly related with the features. So let's go to see the latest two small features we've got recently. So first one is that we have done a small fix that the application controller for the Vela core, you usually know it. And so the Vela core will take responsibility for garbage collect the application revisions of application. So some people may ask that this is one of the most basic features that we've got a long time ago. But the mechanism of this garbage collection is usually achieved by leveraging the owner reference mechanism in Kubernetes. So you know that when in Kubernetes, one of the objects is attached with the owner reference that points to another object, and the parent object is deleted, and then Kubernetes will take responsibility to delete that child resource which has no parent now. So this mechanism, although worked properly for a long time, in some corner cases might have some trouble. For example, when you have lots of applications in your cluster, so Kubernetes might be a bit slower to garbage collect those child application revisions. And if at this time you create another application which has the same name as the previous one, so it might misrecognize the old application revision as itself. So at this point, you will find that the application might function not as you expected. So this is reported by some users that try to call some APIs to delete application and recreate application frequently. So to solve that problem, we have decided to let the application controller itself to manage the garbage collection of its revisions. So now, before all the revisions are garbage collected by the controller, the application will be blocked during the deletion process. So after all its resources and its revisions are garbage collected, the application will be finally cleaned up and deleted. So with this mechanism we have achieved here, we can solve the problem for the application recreation and other corner cases for the garbage collection of the revision. So this is one of the enhancement. And another feature we have recently done is also an enhancement for the garbage collection policy, especially for the cascading scenario. So I'm not sure if any of you have been aware of using the KubeVela application to manage the cron job or jobs in Kubernetes. So the default behavior of Kubernetes to delete jobs, that it will generally will keep the pods that are that belongs to those jobs, because those pods might have some remaining logs and also some status that might be useful for diagnose information, and also could be reserved for future investigation. And so unlike deployment, when the deployment are deleted, the underlying pods will be collected by the Kubernetes as well. But for jobs, the default behavior is when you delete the job, the pods might be kept in the cluster for some time. So some of user might want to ensure that when the jobs are deleted, the pods should be collected as well. So they found that because KubeVela previously used the default behavior, so if you have created some jobs through the KubeVela application, and they found the application dispatch the jobs, and then some pods are created. But when the application is deleted, they found that the pods are still running behind, and they are not deleted as the application goes. So to change that behavior, which is set by default by Kubernetes, we get this new feature flag, new option for the garbage collect policy. So in this policy, you can select the propagation parameter, and it has two. So generally, you will not use this field for most of the time, because most of the resource garbage collection are as our expected. So in case that, for example, you want to control resources like jobs and some resources that are not follow the default garbage collection behavior, you can specify that to set this field as a cascading mode, so that the deletion of the job will also delete the underlying pods, so that you will have a very clean environment after the application is garbage collected. So it's a enhancement to the garbage collection process of the application and its underlying resources. So it's also a issue raised by users that they encounter it when they try to use KubeVela application to manage a job typed component. But for web service typed component, it usually it's not you do not need to care about it. So just to give another option when you have the demanding for garbage collect those resources. Okay, so that's actually is what I would like to share about for today's community meeting. Just 2 small features, and also we will release some new versions recently, and you can track the release process here. And although the version beta 0.2 is not the it's only a pre-release, actually you can try it out in your environment, especially for test environment as well. I think there is no much break changes that will cause some incompatibility issues. So, okay. So also, if you have any questions, you can just raise it here. And because I remember that for the last community meeting, we have mentioned that we try to migrate some computation resources out. And later, some users find that we have dropped the use of the hub.kubevela.net for some image repository. So the certificate of this domain has expired. And we have decided to change the location of those resources to the GitHub registry, and you can find the image here. And also you can go to the Docker Hub and find also the related images as well. So basically the GitHub and the Docker Hub will be the future official release endpoints. And I think most of the users not in mainland China will not be aware of this kind of things, because GitHub are also always good for download images as well. Okay, so that's my sharing here, and let's see if there's any questions. Yeah, I think we've got lots of people here today, and oh, let's yeah, thank you. So if you have any bugs and issues for some features, you can raise it in the community in Slack and in the GitHub as well. And I'm also interested. I'm not sure how many companies are here. We've got Snaptive, Guidewire, and also I think Aurora and other companies. And if you have any like use cases or some feature request, you can share your ideas as well. Yeah, for incoming feature, for upcoming features, I think by far we have one planned, but not sure when we will achieve. So let's see. Let me share the screen again. Yeah, so actually Fogg and I are working on some refactor for the core part of the definition. Yeah, so I'm not sure how many of you have tried to develop the definition in KubeVela, no matter in component definition or workflow step definition. And we previously developed an engine called QX, and the QX allows us to make more extensible features. For example, you can set up a HTTP server in your cluster, which provides some endpoints to handle some functions. For example, if you want to, transform one parameter into another API results, you can call that API backend and to extend the capability of Q. So if you would like to, for example, to abstract some common usage of some structure, previously you can only to write all of those things inside one definition, but with the proper extension in the future engine of the QX, you will be available to use some CRD objects to connect the abstraction engine in KubeVela to your server, so that you can do more extensions. For example, one of the example we raised here is like you can develop a small HTTP server which handles requests for querying your MySQL databases. So if you have set up these kind of things, you will be able to use this kind of things in your definition. Like you can run MySQL.list tables to get the results, so that you will have a lot of freedom when you try to make some customized workflow steps, or if you want to do something in the rendering process of your component. So this is what we would like to achieve in the future. I'm not sure how much time we will reach there, but this is in progress now, and this is by far one of the I think most important main features we might evolve in the future. Yeah. And also, if you have any other ideas for future features, you can raise it as well.
Thanks for putting in the cascading garbage collection policy. I was just hitting a problem unrelated to KubeVela, but I hit a problem with that yesterday. So that will be helpful for us. Thank you.
Yeah. We also found that after the pull request is made, we also have some other users. Like just today, I have got a response like they are using KubeVela version 1.5 and they want to know if there is such features. And I told them we got this feature just in these 2 weeks, so they might need to upgrade their KubeVela 1.5 to version 1.9. Yeah. I think the user response are really helpful, and maybe sometimes one of the user might raise questions in his use case, but this use case might actually be shared across a lot of users. So it will be helpful to know what exact problems you are facing in different environment.
Yeah, I'll let you know if I encounter it within KubeVela itself.
Okay.
Thank you.
I think there is no more questions here for now. So if you have you think something useful and you want to ask more questions, you can just raise questions in Slack channel as well. Okay, so I think that's all for today's community meeting, and thanks everyone. Goodbye.
Thank you.
Thanks. Have a good day.
Thank
Have
you.
a good day too. Bye-bye.